Hello and welcome to Always Elite. You know what time it is. It's time to review AEW Dynamite from February 5th, 2020 from Huntsville, Alabama. Starts off hot with Jon Moxley versus Ortiz with Santana coming out with him. Ortiz beats on Moxley most of this match, probably until about the 3/4 mark. I don't remember how long the match lasted, but one mistake and Moxley takes control. Ortiz runs into Santana, who was on the apron trying to cause a distraction. A paradigm shift and a pin for the win for Moxley. After the match, Santana tries to attack Moxley, but gets a paradigm shift himself. Then Moxley takes the keys to the 4GT that Jericho had given him weeks prior. Was trying to convince him to be part of the inner circle. And he gets back at Jericho and he yells at Jericho, who was on commentary for the match, yells at him and says, "Eye for an eye," and proceeds to stab Santana right in the eye with the keys. And Jericho takes off, trying to run after him, but Moxley gets away. Next, it's Best Friends versus SCU. It was a pretty even match throughout the entire thing. I mean, both teams are very skilled at what they do. Very good. Partway through, all the men were down outside, and Orange Cassidy was out with the Best Friends. He decides to join them and just lay down. It's hilarious. It's one of the funnier moments of the match. Trent and Chuck go for strong zero, but Scorpio Sky kicks Trent and SCU gets the pin. After the match, the Dark Order comes out and beats SCU up. Orange Cassidy gets into the ring, which is strange. And then Evil Uno offers him a mask, but he turns it down, and they proceed to beat him up as well. Christopher Daniels comes down, and then Dark Order back off because Christopher Daniels wants to fight. Now the theory is that Christopher Daniels already is the exalted leader of the Dark Order. That's just rumors that I've heard, and it is very possible. I still think it's Hangman Page, but we shall see. Apparently, probably either at Revolution or Double or Nothing. Next, it's Dr. Britt Baker versus Yuka Sakazaki, who makes her return after a few weeks off. There wasn't really that much to this match. Britt dominates Yuka early, but Yuka gives very little offense back. Yuka counters the lockjaw and rolls Britt up for the pin, which surprises Britt. When Yuka's celebrating, Britt decides to grab the ring bell and clock her right in the back of the head. Then takes Yuka's head, puts her teeth in between the bottom rope, and proceeds to stomp on her face, like the back of her head. It appears that some of Yuka's teeth had fallen out after that. Obviously, if you look close enough, they're not real, but I made it look that way. And even the way she smiled, because she was bleeding from the mouth, so she did take some damage, but who knows, it might have been caps on her teeth. But we'll just go with that. Next is the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks and Hangman Page and Omega. All hell breaks loose early in the match. Neither team has control for very long. One would take control, then the other one would take it back. It probably was that way for almost all of the match. It's such great wrestling by all 8 of the men. I mean, they're so talented. Now you can see why AEW is definitely better than NXT. I'm probably going to hear it in the comments, but it's that old school mentality of wrestling. None of this, political BS. Paige gets the hot tag and clears the house. There was so much action after that, I couldn't describe it all to you. But it was very, very hot and heavy. Lots of it. In the end, Paige got overzealous and didn't tag in. And pretty much refused to tag in any of the Young Bucks. Lucha Bros gets him into a zero fear and a pin for the win. After that, Tony Schiavone gets to the ring and tries to get an interview with Kenny Omega. The Pac gets on the Tron. Sorry. And goats Kenny into a match. By threatening Rio, who was standing in the background for some reason. Obviously, this was a setup. Pac says he's not a beast, but she is, and Nyla comes out from behind the curtain and powerbombs Riho. Well, she attempts to through a table, but the table doesn't break. Riho weighs like 90 pounds, so the table's not going to break. Next, it's Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford versus Joey Janela. After Joey just smashes Kip early, just keeps beating him in the face and everything. After that, Joey just sits down and asks Kip to keep kicking him right in the back, which was pretty bold. And of course, later in the match, Penelope gets involved. She always does. I don't know why, but I guess that's the point of having a, manager / girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. In the end, Joey Janela knocks Penelope off the apron. He seems concerned, which allows Kip to get the roll up and the win. And to close out Dynamite tonight, it was Cody's time to take his 10 lashings so that he can get his match with Wardlow, and then after that have his match with MJF at Revolution. As Cody preps, MJF asked Cody for his belt instead. Because MJF took off his, he didn't like it apparently, so he asked for Cody's to add more humiliation. Well, Cody took all 10. After the first one or two, a couple of the heels came out and watched on the ramp. After the third one, Arn Anderson came down to try to plead with Cody to help him out. 2 more he took. And then his brother Dustin comes down and begs MJF to take the other 5, but MJF refuses. He takes a few more. Brandy comes out and tries to help him, to will him to get through the rest. Wardlow is granted one of his shots, which I think was the 9th one. And then he takes his 10th one. And I'll tell you what, there's a graphic picture coming up. And after that, you could see the welts that are on his back. It's pretty bad. But right after the 10th one, and Cody gets back up, MJF kicks him in the balls. Of course, what a heel. So all the baby faces come and try to get him. He runs to the top, runs out of the ring, and runs to the back of the arena through the crowd. And it appears, if you watch very closely, it appears that somebody tries to attack MJF, but he's stopped immediately. It was thought to be a fan, but after the fact I found out that it was actually Frankie Kazarian in a hoodie. Which is very smart, the way they played the camera very well on that one. They shot in, they showed him shove, they moved the camera back to Cody, and then when they went back to MJF, it was just him standing there with Wardlow. All in all, it was a great episode of Dynamite. Let me know what you think in the poll above my head. And until next time, always be elite.
Never look back, no, never say die. Always attack with